Hola, I'm Ephfive and this is a scrappy review of Citadels from Fantasy Flight. Spoiler alert, I don't like this game. What strengths it has are obscured by problems that keep what should be a simple, fun game from being exactly that. It's actually quite disappointing because the game contains much of what makes a great compact filler game. It's small, easy to learn, plays to a larger crowd than most other games, and exhibits artwork that is both engaging and amusing. However, it drags on, wears out quickly, and lacks any significant climax most of the time. Citadels is a role selection game that came out in 2000, the same year as the first X-Men movie, neither of which aged gracefully. For many, it remains a go-to game for larger groups playing up to 8 individuals. It is even, often mistakenly, proposed as a filler game for such a group. Unfortunately, though the game can be played with as few as 2 players, its best aspects only really shine with more people, and that's exactly when its worst aspects begin to show through. A given round is broken into 2 main parts: choosing characters and taking turns. The choosing characters section of the game is where Citadels brought something new to gaming. In a standard game, there are 8 characters to choose from, numbered 1 through 8. Selection is kept secret, and depending on the number of players, some characters may be left out at random each round. Once chosen, players act in character order, only revealing their character when the time comes for them to take a turn. This was a surprising change from the norm in most games where almost no thought went into player order. It was hardly a consideration beyond who was first, and often that didn't matter beyond the first round. But Citadels brought something new to this part of the equation. Players select characters in order from the first player, but then they take their actual turns in order based on the character they selected. First, the assassin chooses a target and takes a turn. If a player selected the assassinated character, he or she doesn't get a turn that round. Then the thief chooses a target character and takes a turn. If a player selected the thief's mark, then when their turn comes, all their gold is taken by the thief before they act. Character effects beyond this mostly provide additional money or some other minor effect. Selecting the king, for instance, gives you the first player token and additional money for possessing noble districts. If the entire game was confined to this single mechanic, it would actually be quite good. It would move quickly, take up very little room, and it would be extremely easy to teach. It would be an ideal multi-layered experience for new players and casual groups alike. Unfortunately, the game has this big tumor attached, which is the part where players actually take their turns. This is where the game suddenly drags on, loses balance, and all of the fun and drama of character selection is sucked out of the room for what is little more than routine points maintenance. Players have hands of district cards that they spend money building. Most lack any effect, simply providing a number of in-game points equal to their building cost. Basically, there's nothing much interesting going on here. Players take 2 gold or a district card, then, assuming they can afford it, build 1 district by paying its cost and adding it to their play space. The problem is that the only interesting stuff going on here is governed by the character cards. The rest is just padding. So a game that feels like it has the meat to fill 20 minutes, even with 8 players, ends up taking the better part of an hour or more. If Citadels came out more recently, it wouldn't stand a chance against the exploding sub-industry of refined and hard-edged minigames like Love Letter, Eggs and Empires, Tiny Epic Kingdoms, Council of Verona, Sushi Go, Hanabi, and so many more. Admittedly, I'm willing to cut Citadels a lot more slack than most other outdated and antiquated games because it still offers occasional fun. I still get roped into games of it on occasion, and I'm not one to complain unless a game actively irritates me. That's why I don't say that I hate this game, I just don't like it. Fact is, I would love a version that cut out the fluff, modernized the characters with more balanced and ingenious abilities, and took up less space than my wallet. I don't even want new art, I love the art. Dear Fantasy Flight, please make this happen.